Welcome to the Be It Till You See It podcast, where we talk about taking messy action, knowing that perfect is boring. I'm Leslie Logan, Pilates instructor and fitness business coach. I've trained thousands of people around the world, and the number one thing I see stopping people from achieving anything is self-doubt. My friends, action brings clarity, and it's the antidote to fear. Each week, my guests will bring bold, executable, intrinsic, and targeted steps that you can use to put yourself first and be it till you see it. It's a practice, not a perfect. Let's get started. Welcome back to the Be It Till You See It interview recap, where my co-host in life, Brad and I, are going to dig into the freeing convo I had with Emily Coffman in our last episode. If you haven't yet listened to that interview, feel free to pause this now, go back and listen to that one, and then come back and join us here, because this is episode 50.
50.
What?
That's kind of insane.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah, we're at like 5 months, I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
May, June, July, August, September. June, July, August. 6 months.
What? Oh my gosh. Well, there
How'd
it is.
Do that?
So, y'all, we turned 50 because of you. I mean.
Well, yeah, at least 25 weeks if we did 2 per week. So, yeah.
Yeah. Good job using your math
That's
skills.
how I do.
That's great.
6 months and change.
So it's episode 50, and unlike other podcasts where they are perfectly aligned and knowing what number they're at, and they have edited all the best of their first 50 episodes, we've done none of that for you. In fact, we're just going to do a normal episode, but we...
Oh, like recapping greatest hits from our episodes?
So let us know if you want that for episode 100 or 75, or just if that matters to you. Like, we want to know. I mean, we might probably do that because it is kind of fun, but that requires a producer, which we are in the process of onboarding. So we will see what she has the...
It also requires a dog not whimpering in the background because he wants to go for a walk.
Oh my God, he's an hour. We fell back.
Oh,
so
they're on time.
He's on time. I'm like, what's wrong with these dogs, y'all? These dogs are like trying to get our attention. They're like army crawling across the floor. But they clearly don't know it's episode 50.
Oh, yeah.
50. So anyways, can I just say big thanks to each one of you who listens to this podcast, because otherwise we'd be talking in a dark void to the ethers. But I know you listen to this, and your shares...
We know that you know because you chat to us on the gram.
Yeah, the Be It Pod.
So thanks for that.
And at my personal Instagram and just all that. So thank you so much. Thank you for sharing this podcast with your friends. Thank you for your written reviews. Keep them coming if you haven't written one. And, keep being it till you see it. Happy 50th episode.
Woo!
Okay. What's our audience question this week, babe?
All right. I think that it's time appropriate here. What are your Thanksgiving traditions?
I know.
For those of you who live in the United States, we obviously celebrate Thanksgiving in November.
Yeah. Canada already had their Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anyone else has something similar. So if you do,
couldn't tell you.
Let us know what the name of that is. We'll forget, but it's nice to know what's going on out there. And we'd love to know your tradition. So, I grew up going to my dad's family's house for Thanksgiving sometimes. And sometimes I went to my mom's Thanksgiving house. And let me just tell you a little difference, just so you can understand the life I grew up in. So my dad's family has like traditions with Thanksgiving. Like the same person made the stuffing and the same person made the turkey. And like everyone had the dish. It was like, couldn't have been more perfect with the football games in the background, and like, don't interrupt the games. And we ate at a specific time because it was like with whatever I don't even understand it all. But then there was that, right? And then my mom's family, whenever they won for Thanksgiving, I'm not really sure how they won, but somehow we ended up at their house. This was a Rayleigh's dinner. So they would go to the grocery store and they would get the dinner and they would make it. And I will never, do all you know, what do you call it? Martinelli's? What's that sparkling?
Yeah. Apple.
The sparkling apple. It's like so much sugar. It's like cavities.
It's just like drinking syrup.
It's like drinking cavity. It's like putting cavities in your mouth as you drink it. Anyways, so my grandparents like had the plastic, fancy champagne flutes, when the ones you put the top to the bottom on YouTube.
Yeah, and when they fall apart while they have liquid in them, it doesn't go well.
Well, how did you know? Because they did it throughout all the Thanksgiving plates. So the turkey ended up floating in Martinelli's. And anyway, so do I have Thanksgiving traditions as an adult? No, I do not.
I have a story to share.
Come.
Thanksgiving traditions is definitely how I got in with your family.
Oh, yes, because there was this one favorite dish.
Because there was this one recipe. It was grandma's recipe. It was an artichoke recipe.
Like a torta, an artichoke.
It was an artichoke tort, and no one in the family had the recipe.
I have it.
Except for Lesley had it.
I also have the chocolate cake recipe.
And she never talked about it, and she never told anybody.
No.
And then the first year that I went to the family dinner that I didn't know anybody, I made grandma's artichoke tort recipe, and everyone freaked out. They were like, "Where did you get this? Amazing!" Oh my God.
Tears everywhere.
Oh
Tears.
yeah. So I made it for a number of years in a row, and that became my dish that I had to make.
Yeah.
Until we stopped going to Northern California for Thanksgiving altogether.
Because we stopped. Because traditions are also made to be broken, y'all. Like, let me just tell you, the pressure of making this artichoke thing, and also the 9-hour drive that should only be 5 hours.
Yeah.
This became a lot. So our Thanksgiving tradition has been the last several years, we sit at home.
Yeah.
And we make our list of things we've been wanting to buy, and we enjoy every single sale online. We are big on it. And then we make up the list of things that we need to buy for the holidays, and we watch Home for the Holidays, which you're freaking welcome. Best holiday movie ever made. I promise you, it's 90s glorious in its prime.
And we might start some new things here because we now have had some family move to town.
Well,
so
my
we
brother
shall
already
see.
was here, so in full, like, we have to give him props. He brought us here.
That's true.
And then my dad came.
Yeah.
And so I think this will be the first Thanksgiving in a long time. We will listen to football games on an iPad because we don't own a TV.
Yeah.
And
That's true.
My dad suggested Chinese food. So
Love it. I'm so in on that. That's amazing.
So maybe this year is the start of new traditions. At any rate, whatever you do for Thanksgiving, please remember to be grateful for what you've done for yourself.
Yeah.
And you can also be grateful for what others have done, but I think often we do not say thank you to ourselves. So please give yourself some gratitude because you are amazing and you're here because of you. And then also to take care of those in your life and give them big hugs this Thanksgiving. Okay, or if it's Thursday where you are and not a holiday at all, be grateful for what you've done for you.
Okay, now let's talk about Emily Coffman.
I know, she's so cool.
Emily Coffman is the fastest growing advocate for athlete wellness in life after sports. She's a former NCAA Division I athlete, creator of the top 1% health and fitness podcast, Live Your Personal Best, and she's the author of Elite to Everyday Athlete. She educates and encourages others on how to live their best and healthiest lives.
Yeah, I find I met her randomly, like on a Zoom call. So weird. And then she reached out to me in a random email from a different site, and we ended up on a podcast for her podcast. And I'm looking at her face. I'm like, I have seen this girl before. And then when we were done recording, I'm like, were you on this such and such Zoom call? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, that's hilarious. And so, you know, the world is small, but I think that's really cool. Her book is really great. And I really do. There's a lot of conversation about elite athletes becoming, you know, everyday people. And there's a lot of pressure and a lot of...
Especially after the Olympics this past...
my gosh.
This past Olympics.
Y'all, if you haven't watched Michael Phelps' documentary, it's going to depress you, but it's also like so important because if you are
It's called The Weight of Gold.
Yeah, if you are raising children or if you have an elite athlete in your life, there is this like expectation hangover that happens. And I think it's just really important. So I'm really grateful that she wrote this book because I think it really does help people who maybe didn't make it all the way to the pros or maybe they didn't make it there, have some sort of structure and ideas of how they can funnel that energy and that commitment.
Whether or not you made it all the way to the pros is irrelevant. If you've dedicated your life to becoming an athlete and did that from, you know, like t-shirt league through college and then maybe even beyond.
T-shirt league?
Yeah. You know, when you're like 6, right?
Oh, and they give you a t-shirt on a jersey. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, the point is if you've lived your entire life that way, that transition for like, suddenly it's over and you're like, I guess I'm not going to play competitively anymore because of whatever the thing might be. And so, but how do you like take that, that intensity that you had brought to your sport and transitioned that into another activity in your life and find fulfillment in it. So, that's, I think, that's exciting. That's kind of what her book is about. Anyway, we're excited. It is now out as of the last episode. I think at the beginning of last episode, we didn't know if it was out yet, but towards the end, we realized, by the time the episode was airing, it was going to be out. So you can find it. The link is in the show notes.
Yep, it's out now. Sorry, y'all. We interview some of these people way back in the day, and now they're coming out. It's just how it goes. Welcome to the podcast world. I'm always shocked. Anyways, I think that brings me to something I like that she said that might look a little different than you thought, and that's okay. And for my recovering perfectionists and overachievers, and those of you who haven't yet put recovered in front of those two words, this is so important. This is something it's still so hard for me. It's still something I'm still practicing because I also have a team who does things for me. So I'll tell them something and then it comes out, and sometimes it looks different in the best way, and sometimes it looks different in the, oh my God, I'm going to cry way. And it's okay. It's okay because it's really, really important that we do things so we can get to the next step and not try to just continue to mold it till it looks exactly the way you thought. Because you know what? I had no clue that I would live in Vegas, be married to a musician, and have 3 dogs, 2 of which are really trying to go for a walk right now. Yeah. So,
I have a head on my leg.
Yeah.
He's staring at me forlornly.
I know.
But you know what? It's funny. I think that, one of my recent, relation connections to what you're saying is when we hired the artist to paint our mural in the back.
No.
And, it was lovely.
We wanted her just to do what she already did.
Yeah. Well, so we hired her to paint this mural that we designed with her. And she started off, she said, I think it's going to take me about a week. We're like, okay. And because it's hot here, she decided she wanted to start at 9 p.m. and she would work until 2 a.m. And so, my guess would be 4 or 5 nights. She spent 5+ hours on it. So 25 hours or so. And, it's beautiful. It's lovely. But the last night I was watching, her, nitpick, right? Noodle, the,
Sorry. August is losing his mind. He wants the blue cheese bottle.
I was watching her nitpick the colors on the wall, and she would go in, and then she would back up, and then she would go in and right, and we started a conversation.
Spray paint.
Yeah, that's a spray paint. That's what that means. And we started a conversation about that, and she said, I really could stay here and keep tweaking this forever, because I'm never satisfied. I can always spot something else that could be better, could be, adjusted or whatever, and she and I started to talk about music being similar to that, where you can always noodle with the song a little more, make the lyrics a little better, adjust the production, whatever. But there comes a point where you have to go, okay, I'm putting it out into the world now. It is as good as it should be, is as good as it needs to be, and provided that something catastrophic isn't tied to your work, then you can feel satisfied. If
you are a surgeon listening to this, please do the best you freaking can always. But if you are not,
right,
I just think done is better than perfect. And
right.
Also you will always be able to see those things. I can't see the things that she could more on.
I look at it on websites too. There comes a point where I'm like, oh my God, we need to stop because I'll just nitpick this to death.
Yeah. So, I think that, for those of you who practice Pilates, the beautiful thing is quality over quantity. And yes, you could always do an exercise better, but that's what the next rep is for. And if you hit 3 reps and you still haven't gotten there, move on, because that's what the next time is for. So anyways, I hope that helps you get your shit done.
So I really loved what she was talking about when she said the domino approach. I thought this was really clever, and I almost named the entire podcast after this conversation, or the episode, because she was talking about how you pick one thing in your day and that's the top domino, the first domino. And she said it's better. She prefers to start with the first domino than try to make, starting with like all the dominoes at the same time, where she's like, I have to do these 75 things tomorrow, and instead she said, I start with one, and that one domino for me is my workout. And she said, when I work out, then all the things topple after it in a positive way. After she works out, she gets a shower, then she can feel refreshed, and then she goes and gets her coffee, and then she does this, and then she whatever, and it becomes this marker that you can use if you know what your first domino is. And what you were talking about last episode was your workout when we travel. So, you were talking about your waking up with the sun when we travel, and basically, how you get your workout in, and that will allow you to still have a solid day, even though you don't have the rest of your normal morning routine.
Yeah.
I just thought that was clever to think about it that way, of like the domino approach, because I don't actually, I don't really have a marker in my day, in my morning, that's like, okay, cool. Now I can, now the rest of my day is going to follow.
I mean, your coffee, I think I make.
Coffee. That's true.
Well, I will, there's very interesting actually, because Amy Ladine, who is one of our original, first guests, who's a dear friend of ours, she recently put a post on her podcast, one of her 5-minute downloads, which is don't hit snooze in the morning. And so for those of you who wake up to an alarm clock, if you refuse to hit snooze, by committing to waking up when you said you were going to wake up, it is a domino effect of confidence in your day that you keep commitments to yourself. And so I think that just goes along with this. It doesn't have to be a workout. It can just be something small that you do every morning that you're like, okay, this sets the domino of an amazing day. BJ Fogg has his Maui habit where he puts his feet on the ground and goes, today's going to be an amazing day. And then he celebrates that, right? So it could be your workout, like it's for me and Emily. I definitely beat the sun this past week with the fallback. I'm going to be honest. I was up an hour before the sun. So there's that. And that was amazing. But find something to be your domino, give it the name of the domino, and let us know how that goes.
Love that.
Now. Okay.
So let's talk about the beit action items that you discussed with Emily Coffman. What bold, executable, intrinsic, or targeted action items can we take away from your convo with her?
I'm going first.
Do it.
My biggest takeaway is whatever that one thing is you've been wanting to do, maybe you've been putting it off or you don't feel ready for it yet. She says, just go for it now. And y'all, I mean, could we not pick a better beit action item for the Be It Till You See It podcast?
I know.
I was like, yeah, hired. You want to host with me? Okay. Because, y'all, I swear to you, life is really, really, really is like trying on a pair of new jeans and you're wondering if they're in style or not. I was just opening up one of my emails and there's this high-waisted baggy jeans, Hello 90s. It made me think of Sister Act 2, Lauryn Hill. And those baggy jeans. And I was like, look at those jeans. Maybe I need those jeans. Here's the deal. Guess what I'm not going to do? Put those jeans on my vision board and hope that those jeans someday are on my body. I'm going to go try the jeans on and see if they look good or not before I pine after them. Too often, we're like, someday, one day, I will. When I have this, I'm going to do blah, 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 blah. Do the thing and see what happens. Just see what happens. You may go, oh my God, I hate that. And I don't know, maybe these jeans I'm going to hate, but we're going to find out because I'm going to order them and try them on. All right, what's your beit action item?
That is amazing. All right, so just kind of actually hand in hand with that, you can just start now. Basically, she was talking about how you don't have to make it this massive mountain of a thing. You can start now, start without the pressure, start without the commitment, and just start just because you're interested in it. And I thought, wow, that's really interesting. I remember, think back to when we were teenagers or in middle school or whatever, and we liked music or we liked art or we liked sports or whatever, or we liked reading or like video games, whatever it is, you ended up dedicating more time to it because you enjoyed it, not for any other reason, just because you dug it. And so when it comes to this bigger stuff, I know that we have a finite amount of time, but maybe, you know, maybe you wanted to learn sign language. Start, you know, maybe you wanted to learn another like spoken language, maybe maybe you wanted to, you know, start building a studio in your house, maybe, you know, whatever it is, you know, you can start it without the pressure. And what she was talking about, sorry to cut you off. She said, she started her podcast this way, and, you know, half dozen episodes in, she was like, I actually love it. I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah. Well, and I think like also without the pressure, it's like, you don't have to go, okay, I'm going to like learn sign language and I'm going to teach it in front of like the entire city. You can go, I'm just going to like go on YouTube and like start it and see if I like it and see if it's good, and just keep the pressure off of it, because it's way more fun. Like, especially when you brought up when we were kids, we didn't go, oh my God, when I am the star pitcher of a team. We like went out and pitched with our friends. Like,
right.
And maybe you thought someday I'm going to be the star pitcher, but you didn't go, oh my God, I can't throw this pitch until I'm the star pitcher.
Right.
Like, that just didn't happen. When you're like, be a child when it comes to things, people, because
also too, you know,
way more fun.
Think about, especially the athletes in the room. I would bet any amount of money that you didn't just pick one. You were like, and baseball, and then next is soccer, and then next is, you know, track, and then next is volleyball, and then next is, and then it would cycle back and forth and back and forth. And there came a point where you were like, I'm just not into, you know, baseball. I would rather focus on whatever.
Yeah. My dad put me in every sport hoping that I would get a scholarship. I did not, because I'm not that athletic, but there was not a lot of pressure on any of it, and that made it really fun.
That's good.
Anyways, I just really enjoyed her outlook on all of this, and I'm really excited about her book, that it's out there, and I hope y'all enjoyed this.
Awesome.
Okay, well, I'm Lesley Logan.
And I'm Brad Crowell.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We are so grateful, like so grateful for you. So keep us posted on how you're using these tips in your life by screenshotting this episode, tag us and the Be It Pod and our guest, and let us know how you are using these takeaways in your life. And until next time, be it till you see it.
Cheers.
That's all I got for this episode of the Be It Till You See It podcast. One thing that would help both myself and future listeners is for you to rate the show and leave a review. And follow or subscribe for free wherever you listen to your podcasts. Also, make sure to introduce yourself over at the Be It Pod on Instagram. I would love to know more about you. Share this episode with whoever you think needs to hear it. Help us and others be it till you see it. Have an awesome day.
Be It Till You See It is a production of As the Crows Fly Media.
It's written, produced, filmed, and recorded by your host, Lesley Logan, and me, Brad Crowell.
Kevin and Belle at Disenyo handle all of our audio editing and some social media content.
Our theme music is by Ali at Apex Production Music, and our branding by designer and artist Gianfranco Cioffi.
Special thanks to our designer Jaira Mondal for creating all of our visuals, which you can't see because this is a podcast, and our digital producer Jay Pedroso for editing all the video each week so you can.
And the Meredith Crowell for keeping us all on point and on time.